In this video, let me show you how to prompt for everything from subtle facial expressions to full body actions using Kling AI, reveal the secret relevance slider technique that transforms stiff animations into fluid motion. Trust me, the next few minutes will save you hours of trial and error I have gone through. First, discover why human motion makes or breaks your AI videos. Have you ever watched an AI video and something just felt off? That's your brain picking up on unnatural movement. It's called the uncanny valley effect, and it's a total vibe killer. Even small improvements in how your characters move can be the huge difference between a video that screams AI generated and one that looks like you hired professional actors. In my testing, and trust me, I've spent way too many hours on this, Kling AI absolutely crushes other generators regarding human movement, but only if you know how to prompt it correctly. Here's the #1 golden rule for realistic human motion. Don't just describe what's in the image. Describe the action you want to see happen. Sounds obvious, right? But it's the biggest mistake I see people make. If you just prompt a woman in her living room, Kling wouldn't know what kind of movement you want. Instead, try a woman sits on her sofa and slowly leans forward to grab the remote. See the difference? The second prompt gives Kling specific motion directions to follow. Think of yourself as a movie director giving instructions to an actor. You wouldn't just say, be in the scene, you'd give specific action directions. That's exactly what the tool needs from you. Learn the perfect formula for motion prompts that actually work every time. Alright, we will discuss facial expressions and micro movements first. Facial expressions are where AI video often falls short, but Kling absolutely nails it if you know the right prompts. The key is to be specific but gentle, focusing on gradual changes rather than sudden ones. For example, forget boring prompts like woman smiles. That's way too basic. Instead, try something like the woman's expression gradually softens as a warm smile forms on her lips. See the difference? It's like night and day. I've found that subtle eye and lip movements work particularly well in Kling. Try prompts like the woman blinks slowly and then glances to her right, or the man purses his lips thoughtfully before relaxing his expression. Want to take it to the next level? Here's my favorite advanced technique. Chain multiple micro expressions together to create emotional transitions. For example, the woman's neutral expression turns to surprise as her eyebrows raise, then transforms into delight as she breaks into a smile. This creates the impression of a genuine emotional response rather than a static expression. Oh, and when you're trying to make someone talk, please don't just write "the person talks." That's asking for trouble. Instead, try something like the woman's lips move naturally as she speaks, occasionally pausing and changing her expression. This creates conversation animations that look, human. Next, hand and arm motions. Hand and arm animations are where Kling absolutely shines. I'm not kidding. This is the secret to bringing your characters to life with those natural gestures. When you prompt something like the woman reaches for a book and begins turning pages, you'll see incredibly natural hand movements with proper finger articulation. Pay attention to how the fingers move independently. It's quite impressive. For pointing gestures, try the man raises his hand and points excitedly at something off screen. Watch how the finger moves naturally while maintaining appropriate textures and colors. Another effective prompt is the woman picks up a teacup, brings it to her lips, and takes a slow sip. Kling handles these sequential movements beautifully. What makes these hand motions look realistic is including the natural preparation before the main action. Instead of woman grabs book, try woman extends her arm, opens her hand, and gently grasps the book from the table. I've tested dozens of hand gestures, my wife thinks I've lost it, and these are some winners. The person types quickly on a laptop keyboard. The woman runs her fingers through her hair, tucking it behind her ear. The man nervously taps his fingers on the table surface. The woman makes expressive hand gestures while appearing to explain something. Each of these creates those distinctive natural hand movements that make your viewers think, wow, that character feels real. Try them for yourself. You'll be amazed at the difference. Head and upper body movements are challenging too. Head movements create lifelike character interactions and attention cues. For natural head turns, say the woman slowly turns her head to look directly at the camera, rather than just woman looks at camera. The adverb slowly helps create smoother, more realistic motion. For nodding animations, specificity helps. The person nods twice in agreement, with the second nod smaller than the first, creates more natural motion than simply person nods. Real humans rarely move in perfectly repetitive patterns. For upper body movement, combine head and torso instructions. The man leans forward slightly while turning his head to the left, as if listening to something. These compound movements feel more human than rigid, single-direction motions. Try these upper body prompts that I've found particularly effective. The person sits up straighter and rolls their shoulders back. The woman tilts her head while leaning slightly to the side, considering something. The man shrugs his shoulders with a slight shake of his head. These simple upper body movements add incredible life to your characters without requiring complex full body animation. What about walking and standing motions? We walk every day, but this simple action is tricky to get right in AI videos. Instead of woman walks, try the woman takes 3 casual steps forward, shifting her weight naturally from one foot to the other. The key is describing the weight transfer that happens in real walking. And standing up, oh man, that's where most AI videos look ridiculous. The secret is break down the complete sequence. The seated woman places her hands on the armrests, leans forward, and pushes herself up to a standing position. See how much better that is than just woman stands up? It's all about those in-between steps. What about turning while walking? We've all seen those robotic instant 90-degree turns in bad AI videos, right? Yikes! For natural direction changes, try the person walks forward, then gradually pivots to the right and continues walking. That word gradually is crucial here. Humans rarely make instant 90-degree turns when walking. One advanced technique I've discovered is anchoring the walking motion to the floor. The woman walks forward, her feet making contact with the floor with each step. This subtle detail helps Kling create more grounded, realistic locomotion. Last but not least, full body actions. Want your character to perform whole body movements without looking awkward? Break it down into steps. Instead of man sits down, try the man bends his knees, lowers his body, and settles into the chair. The difference is night and day. Here's a heads up about lying down motions. When you prompt, the woman lies down on the couch. You might not see any actual movement at all. Instead of watching her transition from sitting to lying down, you might just get a woman already lounging on the couch. Don't panic though, that's just a limitation of the current tech. Try breaking it down like, the woman first sits on the edge of the couch, then slowly shifts her weight sideways as she brings her legs up and reclines onto the cushions. This forces Kling to actually animate the entire motion sequence instead of skipping straight to the end result. Here are some full body prompts that have worked well in my testing. The person slowly drops down to one knee as if proposing. The woman stretches her arms above her head while arching her back slightly. The man takes a small step back, losing his balance momentarily before regaining it. Remember that with full body movements, slower is usually better for Kling to process. Extremely fast actions like jumping or running can cause distortion. Leverage the hidden power of the Relevance slider. Leverage the hidden power of the Relevance slider. Here's an interesting trick I discovered. The Relevance and Creativity slider is essential for realistic human motion. When you slide this setting all the way up to about 0.9 to 0.95, Kling becomes much more faithful to your motion instructions. This is especially important when working with professional mode, which tends to prioritize visual quality over motion fidelity. At default settings, if you ask for a complex movement like the woman lies down on the couch in professional mode, you might just get subtle movement. But crank that Relevance slider up, and suddenly you'll see the realistic full motion you requested. Let me walk you through a direct comparison I tested. With the same prompt, the person stands up from the chair at default Relevance settings around 0.5. I got minimal movement, just a slight shift in posture. When I maxed out the Relevance slider to 1, the character actually performed the complete standing motion as requested. There is a trade-off though. You might notice some facial blurring when motion is extreme, color shifts usually brightening around areas with heavy movement, smoother details on clothing toward the end of clips. Still, the control you gain is worth these minor issues, especially when realistic human motion is your priority. Combining multiple people and interactions. Want to create realistic interactions between multiple people? It's all about clear sequencing. For example, the woman extends her hand for a handshake while the man steps forward and reaches out to shake it. This creates that synchronized, natural interaction we see in real life. For conversation scenes, try something like the woman speaks animatedly, gesturing with her hands while the man nods and occasionally tilts his head as he listens. These asymmetric actions create realistic social dynamics that don't look like robots talking to each other. Here's a pro tip for group scenes. Vary the timing of movements. Try. The central figure gestures to the group, then the person on the left reacts first, followed by the others turning to look. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a real group of people move in perfect unison? Never, right? I've found that establishing a clear star in multi-person scenes helps Kling prioritize the most important movements. The woman in red speaks while the others listen attentively with occasional nods. This prevents the AI from trying to animate everyone equally, which usually ends up looking super fake. Express real emotions through body language. We've discussed a lot about motion, but don't forget one thing. We humans express our feelings through our entire bodies. Want to show confidence? Try. The person stands with shoulders back, head held high, taking deliberate, measured steps forward. You can literally feel the confidence radiating. For nervousness, go with the person shifts their weight from foot to foot, occasionally glancing down while fidgeting with their hands. We've all seen this behavior when someone's nervous. And for excitement, the woman bounces slightly on her toes, her movements quick and energetic as she gestures enthusiastically. This instantly communicates that excited energy. These emotion-driven movement prompts create much more believable characters than just describing physical actions alone. Your viewers will feel what your characters are feeling. Use these smart camera techniques to enhance your character's movements. While we're focusing on human movement, smart camera prompting can enhance how realistic those movements appear. Describe camera movements in relation to your subject, such as, the woman walks forward while the camera follows her at eye level creates a more natural walking scene than a static camera. I've had amazing results with prompts like, the person remains mostly still as the camera slowly pushes in toward their face. This creates a dynamic cinematic shot even with minimal subject movement. Again, just remember that the camera movements should be described in relation to your subject in the second part of your prompt, not as standalone instructions. This is key. My top 5 tips for ultra-realistic human motion. We have done countless tests, right? And here are my key takeaways for creating the most realistic human movements in Kling. First, always break complex movements into sequences of smaller actions. Real humans don't teleport from sitting to standing. They shift weight, use their arms for support, and rise gradually. Second, include natural acceleration and deceleration in your prompts. People don't move at constant speeds. Try phrases like, slowly begins to turn, gradually stands up, or quickly reaches out, then carefully pulls back. Third, add secondary movements that happen naturally with primary actions. If someone reaches for something, their body often leans slightly in that direction too. Including these details creates more natural motion. Fourth, remember that movement flows through the body. When prompting arm movements, consider how the shoulders might also move slightly. When prompting walking, think about how arms naturally swing. Finally, use anatomically correct language when possible. Instead of moves her arm, try extends her elbow or rotates her wrist for more precise control over the movement. There you have it, folks. With these prompting techniques, you'll create AI characters that move just like real humans. Remember, it's all about specific action verbs, gradual movements, and cranking up that relevance slider. Go experiment and have fun bringing your characters to life. Want to try these amazing AI yourself? All links and resources are awaiting you in the description. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.